Alex sat alone in his small apartment, surrounded by screens, cables, and the faint hum of machinery. He had spent years working as an astrophysicist, studying signals from deep space. Most days were quiet, almost lonely, but tonight felt different. There was a strange rhythm in the signal he had been monitoring, a pattern that didn't look like random noise. His heart beat faster. He adjusted the dials carefully, eyes scanning the lines of code, the strange symbols dancing across his screen. Could it really be? He whispered to himself, unsure if he wanted an answer. The idea that he might be picking up a message from another world made him both nervous and excited. He had always dreamed of discovering something extraordinary, but now that it seemed possible, a weight of disbelief pressed on his chest. The signal repeated, again and again. Alex noticed that the strange pulses were forming a sequence, almost like words. He leaned closer, tracing each line carefully, decoding small fragments. Hello? He typed into the interface, unsure if it would do anything. He laughed softly at himself. I'm talking to a space. Then the screen blinked and words appeared. I hear you. Alex froze. His hand hovered over the keyboard. For a moment he thought he had imagined it. But the words were real. Simple, polite, almost shy. He typed back, careful to choose his words. This is Alex on Earth. Who am I speaking to? There was a pause, long enough to make his stomach twist with anticipation. And then the reply came, I am Lyra. I am a princess of my people. Alex blinked. A princess? From another planet? The idea seemed impossible, but the logic of the message was clear. She wrote with careful words, polite and cautious. The excitement in him was tempered with a strange sense of wonder. This was no ordinary signal. This was someone alive, someone thinking, someone real. Over the next few hours, Alex and Lyra exchanged short messages. He learned that her planet was far away, a world with floating cities, glowing forests, and creatures that seemed more imagined than real. Lyra described her life with elegance and care. But there was also playfulness in her words, a gentle curiosity about him and his Earth. Alex shared stories about his life, about the quiet streets of his city, the hum of the subway, the taste of simple foods, and the strange traditions humans follow. Lyra listened, or at least she responded in ways that made it clear she was interested. She asked questions about his daily life, about Earth's customs, and about how humans felt emotions that were sometimes confusing even to themselves. The hours passed quickly. Alex felt a connection forming, one that he could not explain. Here was a being from light years away, yet she seemed approachable, kind, and strangely relatable. And the way she laughed at his little jokes, even through text, made him smile in ways he hadn't felt in a long time. Why do you laugh at my jokes? He asked, a little teasing. I like to laugh, she replied, even at small things. It makes me feel closer to you. Alex felt his chest tighten. There was something gentle in her words, something human in its simplicity, even if she herself was alien. He realized that despite the incredible differences, the stars between them, the worlds, the cultures, they were connecting. And that connection felt alive, as if a thread stretched between him and her, fragile yet strong. Over the next few days, Alex dedicated more time to the transmissions. He would come home from work, tired from the routines of Earth, and instead of resting, he would focus on decoding Lyra's messages. They were learning about each other, but also laughing. Small jokes, playful teases, and questions about odd habits on each other's worlds filled the communication. He found himself looking forward to these moments more than anything else. One evening, the conversation took a different turn. Alex was writing a message about his favorite star clusters, explaining how he could spend hours just watching the sky. Lyra responded, but this time her message was shorter, hesitant. Do you think humans are lonely? She asked. Alex paused. Loneliness was something he knew well. Yes, he wrote carefully. Sometimes humans are very lonely. But I think we look for connection, and sometimes it appears in the most unexpected ways. There was a pause before she replied. Connection. I think I understand. Even across the stars we can feel something. Real. Alex smiled to himself, feeling a warmth he couldn't fully explain. For all the science, all the technology, it was a simple feeling that mattered most. The idea that someone so far away from a world so different could understand something as simple and human as feeling a connection was extraordinary. Days turned into weeks. Each communication grew longer and more playful. They shared stories of daily life, minor mishaps, strange foods, and unusual customs. Alex told her about Earth's rain, the way it smelled, the comfort of a warm cup of tea on a cold day. Lyra told him about the gentle hum of her floating city at night, the delicate glow of her people's lanterns that floated in the sky, and the songs that told stories of ancient history. Through every exchange there was laughter. Sometimes it was about misunderstanding each other's words. Sometimes it was about a joke or a playful tease. And with every laugh, Alex felt that thread between them grow stronger, weaving something intangible yet undeniable. One night, Alex wrote a message without thinking too much. A phrase slipped out, half joking, half sincere. "Hey, sweetie." He laughed quietly, realizing he had actually written it. He expected nothing, after all, she was an alien princess. But the reply came quickly, almost shyly. "Yes, darling," she wrote. Alex stopped. His heart raced. He read the words again. "Yes, darling." And then a short string of laughter emojis which made him laugh aloud, shaking his head in disbelief. This small, playful interaction made the distance between them feel smaller, even if only for a moment. It was human, warm, and surprisingly comforting. That night, Alex lay back in his chair, staring at the screens, feeling a mix of disbelief and joy. Here was a connection he had never expected, stretching across galaxies, yet it felt as natural as breathing. And in that moment, he realized that the story was only beginning. Something extraordinary had begun in the quiet of his apartment, between the lines of code and playful words, and neither of them would be the same again. After that playful exchange, Alex felt a new sense of excitement every time he logged onto his computer. Every message from Lyra was like a small gift, and he could feel himself smiling even before reading her words. He began noticing little things, how she described her world, the way she asked questions, and the gentle humor in her messages. It was different from talking to anyone he had ever known. She was thoughtful, curious, and full of life, despite being from a place so far away. Lyra's world fascinated him more and more. She described floating cities made of translucent crystal, glowing rivers and forests where the leaves shimmered like liquid light. She spoke about her people with pride but also honesty. There were rules and traditions he could not fully understand, yet her words made them feel real. Alex tried to imagine her there, walking gracefully through her luminous city, and it made him laugh to himself. One evening, Lyra asked a question that caught him off guard. "Alex, do humans dream the same way we do?" she wrote. He leaned back in his chair, thinking. "We dream in many ways. Sometimes they are stories in our heads, sometimes feelings, sometimes things we cannot explain. Why do you ask?" Her reply was almost immediate, filled with curiosity. "Because I dream too. And sometimes I feel I could share my dreams with you if only it were possible." Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest. The idea of sharing dreams, something so personal and intimate, made him pause. But he typed carefully, wanting to match her honesty. "Maybe in some way we already share them. Your words make me imagine your dreams, Lyra." She sent a string of playful symbols which Alex interpreted as laughter. He smiled, realizing that even their differences could not stop the joy they found in each other's company. As weeks passed, Alex began to notice patterns in their conversations. Lyra loved small jokes, teasing remarks, and funny comparisons. Once he described Earth's pizza, with its melted cheese and uneven toppings. Lyra responded with amazement. "You eat melted cheese on flat circles of bread?" she asked, incredulous but amused. "Yes, and it is wonderful," Alex replied. "Sometimes we put vegetables on it, sometimes meat, and sometimes just cheese." She sent him a string of symbols again, and he laughed out loud. "I must try this one day," she wrote. "It sounds delicious." Their conversations were playful, but they also shared serious moments. Alex told her about Earth's struggles, pollution, natural disasters, loneliness. Lyra spoke of challenges in her world too, expectations, rules, and pressures that came with being a princess. Through every exchange, they understood each other a little more. One night, Alex was sitting by his window looking at the stars. The city lights blurred into the night sky, and he imagined Lyra's glowing forests and floating cities. He typed a message, almost a whisper to himself. "I wish you could see Earth like I do right now." Lyra responded quickly, her words full of wonder. "I can imagine it. I see lights and movement, but also the calm of the night. Your world is alive in my mind," Alex smiled. Somehow even thousands of miles away, across worlds he could barely comprehend, she could see what he saw. That feeling was extraordinary, and he felt a connection stronger than anything he had imagined possible. Their friendship grew naturally. Lyra began sending him small drawings, simple sketches of her world. Floating towers, glowing rivers, tiny creatures with wings that shined like glass. Alex shared sketches too. Maps of his city, pictures of streets he loved, even a small sketch of his favorite park. They laughed when comparing their drawings, realizing how different and yet similar life could be across worlds. One afternoon, Alex received a message that made him chuckle. Lyra asked him to describe a human breakfast in detail. He typed a long response. Toast, butter, eggs, sometimes pancakes. Coffee or tea, if you prefer, she replied, laughing through her symbols. It sounds complicated. I would like to try pancakes. They seem soft and sweet. Can you show me a picture? Alex grabbed his phone and took a photo of his breakfast the next morning. He sent it with a simple note. Here, try this with your imagination. Her reply made him laugh out loud. I imagine it tastes like happiness. Thank you, Alex. These small exchanges, filled with humor, curiosity, and kindness, made Alex feel something he had not felt in a long time. Pure joy. He began looking forward to their conversations more than anything else in his day. Even when work was stressful, even when he felt tired or frustrated, Lyra's messages reminded him that connection could be simple, playful, and warm. Then came a day that felt special. Alex typed a message without overthinking. Hey, Lyra. Can I call you sweetie? He hesitated before pressing send. He was unsure how she would react, but he knew the words came from his heart. Moments later, her reply appeared. Yes, darling. Alex stared at the screen, unable to stop smiling. He read the words again, letting them sink in. Yes, darling. She had replied with warmth and playfulness, and the simple phrase made the distance between them feel smaller than ever. He laughed softly, shaking his head. Somehow, even across galaxies, they could share joy in such a simple way. The days after that were filled with laughter. They teased each other, joked about Earth foods, compared their worlds, and even tried to guess what the other's favorite music might be. Alex realized that their friendship had become something more than just messages on a screen. It was connection, trust, and delight all rolled into one. And though they could not meet in person, the feeling of closeness was undeniable. As part 2 came to an end, Alex leaned back in his chair, staring at the night sky. He knew that there were challenges ahead. Worlds separated by light years could not be bridged easily, and their playful friendship might face tests he could not predict. Yet in that moment, he did not worry. He smiled, thinking about Lyra, imagining her blush, imagining her laugh, and feeling the joy that came from simply knowing that someone, somewhere, shared a small piece of life with him. For Alex, that simple connection, filled with laughter, curiosity, and playful affection, was enough to make even the vastness of space feel a little smaller, a little warmer, and a little more like home. Days turned into weeks, and Alex's connection with Lyra became the brightest part of his life. Every message she sent brought a smile to his face, and every reply he received from her felt like a small miracle. They laughed together, shared stories, and even began imagining adventures across the stars. It was becoming clear to Alex that what they shared was no longer just curiosity. It was friendship filled with warmth and care. One evening, after a long day at work, Alex returned to his apartment exhausted. He slumped into his chair, staring at the glowing screens. Lyra's message popped up almost immediately. Alex, can I tell you a secret? He leaned forward, intrigued. Of course, Lyra, you can tell me anything. There was a pause, and then her words appeared. I have never laughed like this before with anyone. Your jokes, your stories, they make me feel light, like I could float among the stars with you. Alex's chest warmed. He had never expected this level of honesty from someone so far away. Someone so different. He typed carefully, wanting his words to match her openness. Lyra, I feel the same way. You make even the ordinary things feel special. You make space feel smaller and life feel brighter. For a moment there was silence, and Alex wondered if she was typing. Then her reply came, filled with playful symbols of laughter. You are silly, Alex, but I like it. That night, Alex found himself imagining Lyra in her world, walking along the glowing rivers, her city floating gently above the ground. He imagined her smiling, blushing, and laughing, and the thought made him grin. Somehow, even across galaxies, she had found a way to touch his heart. Over the next few days, their conversations grew deeper. They began sharing small details about their lives that they had never told anyone else. Alex spoke about his childhood, the quiet streets where he grew up, and the books he had loved. Lyra spoke about her family, the expectations of being a princess, and the pressure to always behave in a certain way. "I sometimes feel trapped," she admitted one evening. "People expect me to act in a certain way. I cannot always laugh freely or say what I want." Alex typed back with empathy. "I understand, Lyra. Sometimes I feel trapped too. Work-life responsibilities. They can be heavy. But you can say anything to me. You can be yourself." Lyra sent a string of laughter symbols again, mixed with a heart. "I like that you understand me, Alex. You make me feel free." Their friendship was growing into something more delicate and precious. Alex realized he cared for her deeply, but he also understood the impossibility of their situation. She was from a world he could not reach, and yet every day, every message made him feel closer to her. One afternoon, they were comparing Earth foods with Lyra's favorite treats. Alex described chocolate cake, warm and soft with melted frosting. Lyra responded with amazement. "Chocolate cake? You eat sweet stones?" she asked, laughing. "No, not stones," Alex wrote quickly, laughing himself. "Not stones at all. Sweet food, soft and delicious. You would love it." Lyra sent a string of playful symbols and a short message. "One day, I will try it." In my imagination. Their playful conversations continued for hours. Alex loved the way she laughed at his jokes and made small, teasing remarks. It was simple, pure, and joyful, something he had not felt in years. Then came a day when something unusual happened. Lyra's messages became hesitant, shorter than usual. Alex noticed immediately. "Alex, are you angry with me?" she asked. He shook his head, confused. "No, Lyra, why would I be angry? I enjoy our conversations more than anything." Her reply was slower this time, thoughtful. I just worry. My people say I should not spend so much time speaking with someone from another world. They say it is strange." Alex felt a pang of concern. "Lyra, I understand. Rules are important. But I hope you know, I do not care about rules when it comes to our friendship. I care about you." There was a pause before she replied, filled with hesitation and then laughter. "You are impossible, Alex, but I like it. Thank you for saying that." This small tension reminded Alex that despite the joy and laughter, their connection was fragile. Worlds apart, societal expectations and the distance made their bond unusual and challenging. Yet the challenges also made their moments together more meaningful. Every laugh, every shared story, every playful nickname became a treasure. One night, after a particularly long day, Alex typed a message without thinking too much. "Hey, sweetie. Do you know how much I enjoyed talking to you?" Almost immediately, her reply came, "Yes, darling. I enjoy it too." Alex laughed softly. He read the words again and again. "Yes, darling." Those words carried warmth, trust, and affection. In that small exchange, across unimaginable distances, they had shared something real and precious. After that, their conversations took on a new rhythm. They continued to share stories, laugh at each other's jokes, and imagine adventures together. They talked about simple things, favorite colors, funny habits, or the way the wind felt in the morning. And in each message there was affection, care, and a sense of shared joy. One evening, Lyra asked a question that made Alex pause and think deeply. "Alex, do humans believe in fate?" He typed slowly, considering his answer. "Sometimes we do. Sometimes we think certain things happen for a reason. Sometimes we just make our own paths." Her reply came filled with wonder. "I think our paths met for a reason. Even across the stars we found each other, that is special." Alex smiled to himself, feeling a mix of disbelief and happiness. She was right. The odds of this connection, of laughter and affection forming between two beings from entirely different worlds, were impossible. And yet, here they were, sharing small joys, playful moments, and heartfelt conversations every day. That night, Alex sat back in his chair, staring at the stars outside his window. He thought about Lyra, her world, her laugh, her gentle words. Somehow across galaxies she had become a part of his life, and for the first time in a long while he felt truly connected, truly alive, and truly happy. In the quiet of his apartment, with screens glowing softly and messages from a world far beyond, Alex realized that laughter, affection, and friendship could bridge even the greatest distances. and he knew deep in his heart that their story was just beginning. As weeks turned into months, Alex's friendship with Lyra became the most important part of his life. Every message she sent made his heart lighter, and every reply he typed made him feel closer to her, even across the immense distance of space. Their playful nicknames and laughter-filled messages had become a comfort in his otherwise ordinary life. But life, even in the far reaches of space, had a way of testing connections. One evening, as Alex logged in to check their messages, he noticed something different. Lyra's responses were slower than usual, careful, and sometimes paused mid-thought. Her laughter symbols were fewer, and her usual cheerfulness seemed dimmed. Alex felt a slight unease. "Lyra, is everything okay?" he typed. There was a pause long enough to make his stomach tighten. Then her words appeared, hesitant and careful. "Alex, I do not know if I should continue speaking with you so much. My people, they notice. They say it is strange." Alex's heart sank. He had expected challenges in their friendship, but hearing her voice, her words express concern was something else entirely. "Lyra," he typed quickly, "I understand. But I hope you know that I do not care about what others say. I care about our connection, our friendship, and about you." There was another pause, filled with tension and thoughtfulness. Then came her reply, a mix of relief and hesitation. "You are impossible, Alex, but I am glad you care. I do not want to stop talking to you." Alex exhaled slowly, relief washing over him. He knew their friendship was fragile, but it was also strong. They had shared something rare, a connection across worlds that had grown through laughter, honesty, and care. Still, the moment reminded him that their bond required understanding and patience. Life for Lyra was not like life for him. She had duties, responsibilities, and expectations that he could not fully comprehend. And yet, every time she found a moment to laugh with him or share a story, it was a gift he cherished deeply. The next day, Alex decided to be playful, hoping to lift her spirits. He sent a message describing Earth's weather in a funny way. Today the clouds looked like they were having a party in the sky. Some were laughing, some were sleepy, and one tried to dance in the wind. Lyra replied almost immediately, her words filled with laughter symbols. "You always make simple things sound magical." "Alex, even clouds have a party in your imagination." Alex grinned. Their laughter reminded him that despite challenges, they could still share joy. Their friendship had survived the first tension, and that made it stronger. Days later, they began sharing small secrets about themselves, things they had never told anyone else. Alex admitted that sometimes he felt lonely, even when surrounded by people. Lyra confessed that she sometimes wished she could live without expectations, without rules, and just be free. "I imagine walking outside without anyone watching, laughing freely," she wrote one evening. Alex replied gently, "We all need moments like that, Lyra. Moments when we can be ourselves without worrying about rules or expectations." Her next message was filled with symbols of laughter and affection. "With you, I can be free even if only a little." The honesty in her words made Alex's heart ache with warmth. Their friendship had become more than playful teasing. It was trust, comfort, and emotional connection. Every message carried the weight of understanding and the lightness of laughter. Then came a moment that made Alex pause. While they were joking about Earth foods and alien delicacies, Lyra sent a message that was serious and reflective. "Alex, do you think people from different worlds can ever truly understand each other?" Alex thought carefully. "I do. I think understanding does not mean being the same. It means caring, listening, and trying. And I think we already understand each other in ways that matter." Lyra's reply was filled with a soft warmth. "Yes, I feel that too. You understand me, Alex? Even when I am quiet or worried, you see me clearly." Alex smiled, feeling a gentle pride and happiness. It was true. He did understand her, not because their worlds were the same, but because they had taken the time to listen, laugh, and share small pieces of their lives. One afternoon, Alex decided to take a small step to bring a little earth into their friendship. He typed a message describing a quiet walk he had taken through a park near his home. He told Lyra about the birds singing, the sunlight filtering through leaves, and the smell of fresh grass. Her response was immediate, filled with fascination. "I can almost see it, Alex, the birds, the sunlight. It feels peaceful. Thank you for sharing it with me." Alex felt a surge of joy. Even though she could not be there physically, she could imagine it. And in that imagination they were together, sharing a moment of calm and beauty. Days passed, and their friendship continued to grow. They joked, they teased, they shared dreams and fears. And through it all, they laughed. One night after a long day, Alex typed playfully, "Hey, sweetie, how is my favorite princess tonight?" Lyra's reply came quickly, filled with playful affection. "Yes, darling. And your favorite earthling is smiling too." Alex laughed softly, feeling warmth spread through him. Those small, playful exchanges had become the foundation of their bond. Even when challenges appeared, even when distance seemed impossible, they found ways to connect and to share joy. But Alex also realized that the tension with her people could not be ignored. He understood that one day, Lyra might have to choose between her duties and their friendship. That thought made him nervous, but he decided not to dwell on it. For now, they had each other, and that was enough. In the quiet of his apartment, Alex stared at the night sky, imagining Lyra's glowing cities and shimmering forests. He thought about her laughter, her curiosity, and the small moments that had become so precious. Even if the distance between them was vast, he felt closer to her than anyone he had ever known. And as he typed his last message for the night, he realized something important. Their connection was extraordinary not because it was easy, but because it was real. Through laughter, honesty, care, and shared imagination, they had built something unique, something that could not be measured by distance, time, or the rules of their worlds. Alex smiled and typed one final line before logging off. "Good night, Lyra. May your dreams be as bright as your laughter." Moments later, her reply appeared simple and perfect. "Good night. Alex, may your dreams be full of stars and happiness." Alex leaned back, feeling a gentle peace. They were worlds apart, but in that moment they were together. And that, he realized, was more than enough. The weeks had turned into months, and Alex's friendship with Lyra had grown into something rare and extraordinary. Every message, every joke, and every playful tease had built a connection that was both comforting and exciting. Despite the vast distance between them, they had learned to share moments, feelings, and small joys that made the stars feel closer than ever. One evening, Alex sat at his desk, staring at the glowing screen. Lyra's latest message had just arrived, and it carried a warmth that made him smile before even reading the words. "Alex, do you ever wonder what it would be like if we could see each other?" He paused, fingers hovering over the keyboard. The thought had crossed his mind countless times, but seeing it written by her made it feel real. He typed slowly, carefully. "I wonder, Lyra, I think about it every day. I imagine your world, your laughter, your smile, and I wish I could see it all with you." Her reply appeared quickly, almost shyly. "I wish that too, but even if we cannot meet, I feel close to you. That is enough for me." Alex smiled softly. That was the beauty of their friendship. They did not need physical presence to feel connected. Their bond existed in shared laughter, trust, and small acts of honesty. And yet he could not help but dream of the impossible, the idea of seeing her, hearing her voice, and experiencing a moment together beyond the glow of the screen. Over the next few days, their conversations took on a reflective tone. They shared memories of their childhoods, their hopes for the future, and even small fears they had never told anyone. Lyra spoke of her responsibilities as a princess, the rules she had to follow, and the expectations that sometimes weighed heavily on her. Alex shared the pressures of life on Earth, the long days at work, and the moments when he felt alone despite being surrounded by people. Through it all, laughter remained a constant. A joke about Earth food, a playful nickname, or a small misunderstanding always brought smiles and lightened their hearts. And in every exchange, there was a quiet understanding that transcended words, a sense that they truly saw each other, not just the worlds they came from. One evening, Alex received a message from Lyra that made him pause and smile. She had sent a small drawing of her city, glowing towers floating above rivers of light. Alongside it was a note. "I made this for you, to show you a little piece of my world." Alex felt a warmth spread through his chest. He replied quickly, "It's beautiful, Lyra. I can almost feel the glow, almost hear the soft hum of the rivers. Thank you for sharing it with me." Her response came with a string of playful symbols and a short message. "You always know how to make me feel seen. Alex, even from so far away." It was in moments like this that Alex realized the depth of their connection. They had built something extraordinary, not through magic or chance, but through shared laughter, honesty, and care. Each message carried weight, yet also lightness, and each playful exchange strengthened the bond that distance could not break. Then came a playful moment that would forever be etched in Alex's memory. He typed a message without thinking too much. "Hey, sweetie, you always make me laugh. I think you might be my favorite person in the galaxy." Almost instantly, Lyra replied, "Yes, darling. And you are my favorite Earthling. You make even the stars feel closer." Alex read the words again and again, a slow smile spreading across his face. "Yes, darling." Those words, simple and playful, carried warmth, affection, and a sense of closeness that no distance could diminish. They laughed together, imagining each other blushing at the words, feeling joy in the small, shared moment. Over the following days, Alex and Lyra continued to deepen their bond. They imagined adventures together, exploring forests that glowed, cities that floated, and skies filled with stars. They played games of imagination, creating stories about creatures, planets, and worlds beyond their own. Each story, each shared moment brought them closer in heart, even if the miles between them were impossible to cross. One night, after a particularly long day, Alex typed a heartfelt message. "Lyra, I want you to know, even though we are from different worlds, I feel like you are a part of my life every single day. Your laughter, your words, your imagination, they mean more to me than I can say." Her reply was almost immediate, filled with warmth and affection. "And you, Alex, have made my world brighter. You have made me laugh, dream, and feel joy in ways I never imagined. Thank you for being you." Alex felt a deep sense of peace. Their friendship had endured distance, differences, and challenges, yet it had grown stronger with each passing day. They had built something rare, a connection that was playful, affectionate, and real. In the quiet hours of the night, Alex sat back in his chair and looked at the stars beyond his window. He imagined Lyra there, floating above rivers of light, her laughter echoing softly across the cosmos. He thought about the countless messages they had shared, the jokes, the drawings, the dreams, and the quiet moments of understanding. And he realized that their bond was extraordinary, not because it was easy, but because it was genuine. As the story reached its quiet climax, Alex typed one last message for the night. "Good night. Lyra, may your dreams be filled with laughter, light, and the stars you love so much." Her reply appeared moments later. Simple, warm, and perfect. "Good night. Alex, may your dreams be full of joy and wonder, just like the ones we share." Alex smiled softly, feeling a gentle peace. They were worlds apart, yet in that moment they were together. Their laughter, their friendship, and their shared imagination had bridged galaxies and created a bond that could not be measured by distance or time. And as he turned off the screen and leaned back in his chair, Alex realized something important. Even in the vast universe, even across impossible distances, true connection was possible. It was found in laughter, care, honesty, and shared moments of joy. And in the heart of it all, Alex and Lyra had discovered something rare and beautiful, a friendship that could stretch across stars, yet feel as close as a heartbeat. The final message from Lyra lingered in his mind, a reminder of everything they had shared. "Yes, darling." And we both laughed. Alex chuckled softly, imagining her smile. Across worlds, across galaxies, they had found something extraordinary, and that he knew was the most wonderful adventure of all.